plugged in, we doing it big. Yeah, exotic chicks and damn they bad. AK the king, Marie the queen. Okay, yeah, we rep the sports and breeding team. We plugged in, we doing it big. Yeah, exotic chicks and damn they bad. AK the king, Marie the queen. Okay, yeah, this is plug music. For the pin and the black top, never won't be straight drop. Put on for your city outreaches worldwide. No haters, out love. You wanna put on, prove just pull up. Historian out trust. Created the space to deal with our love.
Hey, what's up? This your girl Mari from AKM for Life podcast and the Plug magazine. We got a special guest today, to Tuan Nguyen. What's up? What's going on today?
What's going on? Coming in from Houston, Texas. Good to be on Plug Magazine right now.
Yeah, so you have a really interesting story. You tell us who you are and where you're from.
All right, so my name is Tuan Nguyen. I'm originally from Houston, Texas. I went to prison not once, not twice, but actually 3 times. All drug-related charges, possession with intent to deliver. I was trying to live that lifestyle of just hustling and bustling. But through the grace of God, prison actually turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah.
On my 3rd time down, that's when I finally surrendered, and I just stopped running. I stopped running. I was tired of just those empty promises that I told my parents over and over that I would never come back to this place. I would stay clean. I would stay sober. And just through the transformation in those last 5 years that I did on my 16-year sentence, God gave me a vision for leadership and communication. And since then, I've been home now 6 years and started my own business and really chose the entrepreneur path. It's not easy, but it's really fulfilling once you grab a hold of what success looks like.
Yeah, I agree. Being an entrepreneur, you work 24/7, you know what I mean? And so, they say, well, it pays to be the boss. I'm like, oh no, you got to put in a lot of work. So,
Yeah.
so how was M21 Empowerment and Prison Transformation Initiative born?
Yeah, so that's funny. When I first came out, this would be a good lesson for you guys aspiring to be entrepreneurs. M21 Empowerment was an idea that I had. It was an LLC I created for my first coaching business, but it's dissolved now because I ended up having different business partners and I had a different vision after the first couple of years. So right now I run a coaching company called Kingdom Impact Coaching. Faith-based entrepreneurs and coaches launch and grow their business through social media strategies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, is it like digital marketing?
Digital marketing, we help them create their course. We help them create their coaching offers. So if you're like a newly certified coach that doesn't really have social media marketing skills, you really don't know how to get clients, that's what we do. We help you get clients.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, when you said how long you've been doing that for?
Officially 3 years now. So
3
this is my 3rd year full time as an online coach and speaker. And yeah, it's been a really cool journey. I started off with really no social media marketing experience. And within 3 years, we've been able to sell over $3 million online.
Oh, wow. That's great. That's good money right there.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool journey. So I mean, it's definitely, if you have an entrepreneurship spirit and you're willing to learn, there's no reason for someone to get out of prison and not succeed because there's so many opportunities out there.
Yeah. And I feel like social media is definitely grown a lot in the last few years where people are able to monetize a lot from it. You know what I mean? So a lot of the times people think about going to prison, it's a lot of like blacks, Mexicans, right? Some whites that go to prison, but you walking in as Asian into a Texas prison, how was that first experience?
Well, of course, we were the minority, of course. Me represent H-Town. There was a home, there was a place for me too. So I found the homeboys, and I got in where I thought I fit in, and that was another journey of my life of just kind of being in an organized community. That's what I call it now.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot, just going to prison 3 times and just kind of still somewhat living that lifestyle inside prison. And But yeah, for me, I didn't really have a lot of trouble.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was a good connector. You know, everywhere I went, I had some really good likability,
Okay.
so I got along with everyone.
Can you share an experience that enlightened you to change your life around? Because you said you went to prison 3 times. So what was it, or what moment, or what you experienced that you're like, damn, I really got to change. You know what I mean? It has, that's what. When did that happen?
I would say when I realized that I was tired of doing the same thing over and over and over again. I remember reading a book by Zig Ziglar. It's called See You at the Top. And
Hmm.
during my third time in prison, as I was just trying to look for change, there was something very interesting in that book, Madi, and it said that if you want to improve on your self-esteem, you have to do certain things, right?
Hmm.
And one of the things that he said was go join a public speaking club. If you want to increase your self-image and your confidence, join a public speaking club. And I thought to myself, I started writing down in my journal, I was like, you know what? I need to go join a public speaking club when
Yeah.
I get out.
Yeah.
I never realized that there was going to be an opportunity where God would open up a door for a place called Toastmasters. So if
Okay.
you don't know what Toastmaster is, it's an international club that is outside of TDC or the prisons. But then some volunteers by the name of Jim Arnold actually started implementing Toastmaster clubs in 26 prisons in Texas.
Okay.
I ended up going to Carol Vance unit, and that's where they had a public speaking club. And that's when I stepped out of my comfort zone and I said, you know what? I need to try something new.
Hmm.
And as I overcame my fear of just learning how to speak in public, I discovered leadership and communication was going to be so critical for my success once I got out.
Yeah.
That was the difference between my second time in prison being released to my third time. I really gained a lot of confidence, and through leadership and communication, I started having a little bit more clarity on what I wanted to do once I got out. So that was the game changer.
Yeah. And being in the prison environment is so chaotic. There's a whole bunch of things going on, especially as you mentioned earlier, you're part of an organization or whatever it might be of the structure within prison, right?
Yep.
So, what was the most challenging aspect of that transition where you're, kind of trying to stay out the way, you're trying to stay out the way, but then you're around all the prison politics, right? So, how did you overcome it?
Yeah, that's a great question. I had a hard time. I had a hard time because many days I felt as a Christian, I gave my life to God during that time.
Hmm.
And there were many days where I was very conflicted because my homeboys were running one way. God was showing me you need to go this way.
Hmm.
And so I felt deep down inside that, man, if I just forsake and just leave them, what kind of testimony could I be?
Hmm.
And so I had a struggle in that first year of like, do I stay? Do I just
Hmm.
pursue God? But during that time, I stayed, and what God did in my life was pretty cool. He elevated me into ministry, and
Hmm.
so now, still riding with the homeboys, I got to be just salt and light for them. I got to be a light. I got to be a voice, and they started just kind of following my lead. And so things started kind of changing there. So I was still able to influence them for the good versus them
Hmm.
influencing me towards the bad. I just learned how to stand my ground, and I followed God, and the rest played out pretty well.
Yeah, and I think it's important when the people around you see that change in you, they're like, damn, like he's really doing positive, he's doing good. Like, oh, he makes sense. You know what I mean? Do I really need to go get into that or this and this and that? So I feel like in a way you were a light for them that saved them for other things that might have or could have happened, right?
Absolutely.
If you can give advice to a younger version of yourself, knowing what you know now, what would that be?
I would say invest in yourself early on. And what I mean by that is I mean personal growth, leadership, and communication. Outside of just understanding the word of God, that's going to really help you advance in life is knowing who you are, knowing your strengths, knowing your talents, and what God created you to be. That would be number one. The second part would be financial literacy. I believe that learning how to manage money, learning how to make money, and then also learning how to make money work for you was something I was never taught. One other aspect I want to throw in there is just learning how to build your credit. No one ever taught me
Yeah.
the importance of having good credit once you get out. And it took me 2 years to build my credit score from 600 to 800.
Oh wow.
And I see the benefit of it now, especially as an entrepreneur. So I would say those two things right there is discover who you really are, find out your strengths and your talents early on, and that will give you a little bit more clarity on moving forward, and invest in communication. You learning how to connect and the ability to communicate can advance you so far in life. I only have a GED. I left
Mhm.
prison with a GED, but just through me investing in those high impact skills. Let me say it like this. If you want to make high impact income, if you want high income potential, you need to invest in high impact skills. And I
Mhm.
would say discover those early on, because there's so many skill sets that you can learn. And then the financial literacy part.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like a lot of, well, especially like in the brown and Latino communities, there's a huge lack of financial literacy, right? But I think communication, I agree, communication and negotiation skills are really important. You know what I mean? Because you do that whether professionally or personally throughout your life. You know what I mean? So like yeah, if you get a good grip of that stuff, you're golden. You can get into a lot of things and get yourself in different doors. And I had seen something on your social media where you said be careful who you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Bible says evil communication corrupts good habits.
Hmm.
For me, I realized the importance of having a strong inner circle. And can I add
Yeah.
one more tip I would tell myself, my younger self,
Hmm.
is seek mentorship.
Hmm.
Seek mentorship. I tell the guys in prison all the time, is one of the keys to success once you get out is you need to find mentors. There's two ways you can find mentors. Okay. One
Hmm.
is you can seek to serve. Okay. Meaning that you find mentors that are successful, that are doing what you want to do, and you find ways to serve them, because mentorship's not free. Meaning
Hmm.
that you're paying a price tag because you're serving your time and they're also giving away their time to you. So there's a two-way relationship. The
Right.
second part is you got to pay to play. We cannot come out of prison with this victim mentality thinking that everything is going to just be handed over to us for
Hmm.
free.
The majority, there's a lot of guys that think like that. No, that people owe them. You know what I mean? Like, no,
Yep.
you know what I mean? Yeah. So sorry, keep going.
Yeah. So two ways to find mentorship: seek to serve or pay to play. I've learned so much from paying for mentorship that has helped me speed up my success. It's helped me fast track growing my business, because I understand the process of paying for time, meaning that time is very limited. And so when I want to get something done, I find people that I can learn from. And if I can't get it for free, meaning that if I can't seek
Hmm.
to serve you, I'm going to pay you.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I agree. And that comes back to like investing in yourself.
Yes.
And, I think when you care and you love yourself, right, you start investing in yourself. And that's when you really start seeing like all the, seeing everything that's meant for you, that's positive, like starts gravitating towards you, right? Because, people see that, you know what I mean? So what projects are you working on right now?
So right now I'm working on a new video podcast series that is streamed on Pando.
Okay.
We do a John Maxwell leadership personal growth series that was really well. Outside of that, I'm working on my first solo book. So I came out and published my first book with a collaboration before, but
Okay.
I feel like in this season, with just the amount of exposure and the type of people I can help, and then God just really transforming me and just using me as a success story, I
Hmm.
have so much I can put in a book now versus when I first came home from prison. So those are going to
Yeah.
be like two main projects right now that I'm working on. And then just strengthening my marriage. I'm 8 months in, and
Congrats.
marriage requires work. You have to be intentional, and it can be the most fulfilling thing. But just really improving, strengthening my marriage is one of the projects that I have too.
Yeah, and you're right. Marriage is, I think a lot of people take marriage really lightly nowadays, but marriage is a lot of work, giving and taking, and, agree to disagree, you know what I mean? And it's somebody that you choose to agree and disagree for the rest of your life, that you choose to go through the struggles, basically through till death do you guys apart or whatever, you know what I mean? So, and a lot of people don't understand how deep that really is, you know what I mean? Where there might be days where you don't feel the love or anything, hey, but you're gonna get through it, and you go through different stages of life of love throughout those years, you know what I mean? It changes from how it initially started, right?
Yep.
So yeah, congrats on that. Do you guys have any kids?
No, just a puppy.
Or just a puppy?
Just a,
What's
just a puppy, but we're both entrepreneurs, so
Mhm.
we want to spend that first year or two just traveling and just
Okay.
getting more stability and just becoming one before the kid comes in, because I
Oh
know
yeah, kids change everything.
yeah,
Yeah, kids change everything. So definitely that's you guys are on the right track.
right.
So for the guys and the ladies behind the walls, if you had one sentence with words of wisdom for them, what would that be?
You have to know yourself to grow yourself. Growth doesn't happen automatically. It requires a lot of intentionality. Um, you need to get really clear on what you want, because when you get released, if you don't have clarity, you're going to be chasing after someone else's dreams and goals.
Hmm.
And more than likely, you're not going to be fulfilled. So I would say that is know yourself to grow yourself. How do you do that, Tuan? Read books,
Hmm.
read about personal growth, learn about communication, invest in leadership skills. Me tapping into these things helped me understand that I'm wired a certain way. I'm not like anyone else. God created you to be an original, but you can't die as a copycat. All my life, I was trying to copycat and emulate what others were doing, and I didn't have any authenticity. Authenticity has no competition when you discover it.
Agree.
And the only way you can discover it is you have to step out of your comfort zone. Your discovery zone begins when your comfort zone ends. And I want to leave you with this. If you're in prison right now and you're very comfortable, there's no tension in your life,
Hmm.
more than likely you're not growing.
Stagnant.
You're stagnant. And
Hmm.
so and you need to hear that, because growth requires you to have tension in your life. And so I would say that right there is don't get comfortable, get uncomfortable. That's where growth happens.
I agree, and I think that applies to anybody, right? Locked up or not, where you live a life and you're, oh, I'm comfortable. You come home from work, eat, you watch TV, and then you go to sleep. You live
Yeah,
a comfortable life, you know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of people stay stagnant because then years go down the road, and they're like, well, what did I do in my life? I'm not even happy with my life. But nobody is in control of your situation unless you take control, obviously, of your life, and you do something about it, right?
yeah,
So,
absolutely. Yeah.
all right. So, AK and I want to appreciate you for taking the time for this interview. You have a great story. Can you do you want to send any shout outs?
Yeah, I got one huge shout out to AK. Man, thank you so much, bro, for just starting this movement, having me as a guest here on Plug Magazine. Free AK. We're waiting for you to come home, man.
Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate it. It's AKM for Life podcast. Either you get down, stay down, or move around. So make sure you guys check out the links below. Check out his social media, websites, all information, contact information will be on there for you guys to check it out. So everybody have a safe Saturday. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And we're out.
Free AK, free AK, AK and publish.
It's that AKM music, man.